I think the Canadian pilgrimage has been going on ever since the war. I always say to the kids that these people gave up what you have so many of. And the kids, they don't understand. I say, you have a tomorrow, and these people don't have those at all. They gave that up for your freedom. They need to see this to understand the freedoms they have today in Canada. I've been doing it for 16 years, so this is my 8th trip. And I had one parent who told me one year was a life-changing experience for their child.
It's really deepened my perspective of the war and that time.
In history lessons, you can never feel how sad it is to have so many people dying on the battlefield.
It's one thing to read about it and see a number in a book, but actually seeing each and every gravestone is a totally different impact. I just can't describe it. I just could not hold back the tears. It was too much to handle.
When I was 18, my father was absolutely against war. I told him I was going to enlist. He says, "You do, I'm through with you."
My dad didn't let me join the cadets, even though he's in the regiment, specifically because he didn't want me being in the army. So I think if he would have had to say goodbye to me and have me go off to war, he wouldn't be able to handle it.
I couldn't imagine leaving my family and friends at home and coming over to here. And, even though it may have been exciting at the time.
Oh, it's crazy. I think I can't imagine myself in those battlefields.
When I came here, I think I was really amazed at how many Canadians and how all over we were. I mean, you can just pull off the side of a highway, go down a path, and all of a sudden you'll find a little memorial to a Canadian regiment that was there. It's hard to imagine because you look at it now and it wasn't the same landscape because the land was just completely blown apart.
I couldn't believe that this place could be a battlefield because it all looks so peaceful. It's so quiet now. It's hard to imagine it with craters and shells and everything.
My friend who is Belgian is originally from West Flanders, and so he took me to Dadezele, which is not far from Ypres, and we did the battlefield walks, and we did the tours, and he showed me the front lines, and he showed me where the advances were and where the trenches were dug, and we went through a lot of that, and it was really striking because you get that physical connection to it.
I never had an opportunity to come to over to Europe when I was a kid going to school. I taught for maybe 15, 20 years before I had a chance to come over for the first time. And the first time I mean, it feels like yesterday to me still. I had to pinch myself and say, you know, you're here, you're seeing what you've studied for so long and what you've been teaching kids, and now you can see the practical side of it.
The war that really made Canada come together as a country. We got to fight as a nation together, and then that kind of built a sense of identity for us, separate from just being simply part of the British Empire.
I worked a long time ago on Parliament Hill as a tour guide, as a summer job once. I used to tell the story, I don't know if it's even true, about how this was really where the maple leaf came from as a Canadian symbol, that it had been used before, but this was something where Canadians decided on their own, the soldiers, we're going to put these badges on our uniforms so that we can show that we're not just in the British Expeditionary Forces, we're Canadian soldiers.
The Canadian Legion is very happy with me bringing the students over simply because they know that none of the bodies ever came back to Canada. They're worried that kids are going to forget.
It's just so sad. From the bottom of my heart, I respect these people.
The story about the people of Ypres, when the war started, they thought it was going to be a traditional battle. And they thought they would sit there like during the Napoleonic Wars and watch the two forces come together and meet and fight. And so people were literally lining the gates to watch. That's how close it was. And instead, the Germans started launching artillery. And this bombardment came into the town and just started knocking everything out.
From afar, it looks like a beautiful archway, it's a beautiful gate, but going inside, there are 54,000 names in it, so it's really unreal, and it's quite somber to walk through it and to see all the names of the people who sacrificed, and they don't have a grave to commemorate them, so it's really sad, and it makes me just more appreciative of like living where I do with all the benefits that I have.
The first time we sang it was actually at the World War II cemetery at Benny-sur-Mer. And there were 2 other school groups beside mine, and the choir began to sing it, and everybody stopped silent, and there probably wasn't a dry eye within the whole cemetery. Everybody was crying, because it just evokes so much memories for Canadians, knowing who wrote the poem and what it means, and to hear it. They all stand taller after tonight. The boys in the uniform will walk taller. The kids will feel better about being Canadian. We forget, we take it for granted every day, and we need to see these lessons to be reminded that how important our freedom is.